Lone Ranger.
Hi-yo, Silver!
A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty Hi-yo Silver. The Lone Ranger.
Many new ranches in the Pleasant Valley since last time we ride this way, Kimasabi.
Yes, Tonto, the West is growing fast. Young couples are finding it a good place to settle down and raise their families.
Too bad it not always stay that way.
That's why we have to be constantly on our guard. It's unfortunate, Tonto, but a community like that will always attract greedy, unscrupulous men.
Town that not expect trouble, usually a place where we find it.
That's about it. I think we should find a place to camp tonight.
Row of trees over there look plenty good.
Yes, and there's water and grass nearby for Silver and Scout.
You want me to ride into town and get supplies?
No, Tonto. There'll be time enough for that in the morning. Let's go.
I got news for you, boss, but you're not going to like it.
Well, what is it?
Well, I was down at the cafe. Some of Craig's cowpokes came in. They just got back from Pecos. So, they're bragging that Craig sold his herd for close to $7,000.
What?
Yeah, he ran into some eastern buyers. They paid him top price for his steers. Paid him in gold, too. I guess Craig will be able to pay back the $5,000 he owes you now.
Yeah. Is Craig in town now?
No, he went on out to the ranch. I guess he wanted to tell his wife the good news.
Well, then there's still a chance.
I don't understand you, Dylan. I'd say you were lucky just to get your money back, especially with the interest you're charging. I don't see what you want with that Bar C spread anyway.
Craig's property happens to be worth more than he suspects.
So that's why you're after it.
Yeah. Slate, Craig won't be riding into town to pay me until tomorrow morning. There's time. Plenty of time.
What do you mean?
I mean, the Dillon Land and Investment Company isn't going to lose out on its first real chance to make big money.
That?
I've got a job for you. We're going to fix it so that Craig never gets to town with that gold. Tomorrow morning, I want you to ride out by Red Rock and wait for him.
I certainly am glad we're going to be able to pay back Mr. Dillon's loan. And right on time, too.
You're not the only one, honey. There's nothing to worry about now.
Oh, I guess not. Still, call it a woman's intuition. But I have a feeling Mr. Dillon would like to get our ranch.
Listen, Sue, what would a man like Dillon want with a Bar C?
I don't know.
Well, there's nothing to worry about now. We've got more than enough to repay his loan and for me to get you a little something from town.
Now, Jim, don't you do anything frivolous. You just put whatever you have left right in the bank.
Not even just a little something?
Oh, get on with you.
Always business before pleasure.
Please be careful.
I will, don't worry. Bye.
Goodbye.
Rifle shot, Tonto.
Sound like come from Red Rock over there, Kimasabi.
Someone may need help. Let's go.
Look like him hurt plenty bad.
Yes, but he's still breathing.
You think him die?
I don't know, Tonto. He's been shot twice. Once near the heart. Another bullet grazed his temple.
Bootprints show a man run away fast. Me follow trail. Maybe find out who do this.
All right. I'll do what I can here. Feeling better?
Why did you want to kill me?
I didn't shoot you.
But the mask.
I'm not an outlaw. If I had wanted to kill you, I wouldn't have fixed your wounds. Find anything, Tonto?
Boot prints lead to horse. Someone ride away fast. Me lose trail that road that go to town. But me find place for him wait behind rock. Then boot prints lead here.
An ambush.
Now, that's what it looked like, Kimasabi. How, young fella?
My gold. I got to get it. It's in the saddlebag that...
Me look.
Take it easy, fella.
Saddlebag gone.
Gone. That's why I was dry gulch.
You have much gold with you?
$7,000.
That's a lot of money.
It was to repay the loan on our ranch. It was due today. Now Sue and I will lose the ranch.
Sue?
My wife. We own the Bar C spread. Name's Craig. Jim Craig.
How do you go back to the Bar C ranch? Get a buckboard with a mattress. I'll stay here.
Me do.
Well, worked out just like you said it would, boss. A couple of well-directed shots, both of them hits. And Craig is ready to give up the gold without a word of protest.
I'd like to see Craig's widow try to pay off the loan now. You sure he's dead?
Sure. Almost positive.
What do you mean by that?
Well, he wasn't moving when I left.
Didn't you make sure he was dead?
I couldn't, boss. I saw a masked man and Indian coming up.
A masked man and an Indian? What do they want?
I don't know. I just grabbed the gold and hit leather.
Can't you do anything right?
I wasn't going to stay around and ask questions.
No? Well, I guess you couldn't. Maybe it's good someone did come along. Especially a masked man. It'll give the sheriff someone to hunt for.
Yeah, and if he's caught, they won't believe him or the Indian, no matter what kind of a story they tell.
Yeah. It's working out better than I expected.
You going to do something about the masked man and Indian?
You bet I am. I'm going to ride out to the Craig's ranch right now. No, it wouldn't look right if I didn't show up asking about my money. When I get back, I'm going to tell the sheriff all about seeing two strangers. One of them masked. On the trail near where Jim was ambushed.
I get you. The sheriff will be so busy gunning for them, too, he won't have time to think about anything else.
Exactly. After all, as honest, law-abiding citizens, we don't want a couple of tough outlaws loose shooting and robbing our friends.
Yeah. And wouldn't it be just too bad if the masked man and Indian got themselves killed? Resisting arrest, of course.
Matt, stick around by the sheriff's office. I want to know if anyone reports the shooting before I get back. Let's go.
I hear a wagon coming. It should be Tonto with help.
I don't know how I'll ever be able to repay her.
Don't worry about that, Jim.
Stand where you are there, masked man. You too, Injun. If this is some kind of a trick.
It's no trick.
My husband. The Indian said he'd been shot. He isn't.
No, Mrs. Craig, he isn't dead. But he's been badly hurt. I'll take you to him.
Hey, just a minute. I'm coming too, and I'm keeping my 6-gun handy. Come on, get going there, Injun.
You plenty suspicious man.
You darn right I'm suspicious. I ain't taking no chance of getting no bullet in my back. Come on, get moving. Whoa, Brad.
Jim.
Hello, Sue. Don't worry, I'll be all right. Thanks to this masked man.
Don't try to talk, Jim. Save your strength.
Hank and I brought the buckboard. We'll take you home.
I'll help you take Jim back to your ranch.
Thank you.
Tonto will go for a doctor.
Let me go.
Hank, put that gun away. Can't you see the masked man has saved Jim's life? Why, he and the Indian are trying to help us.
Well, I reckon you're right, Miss Sue. But it just don't make good sense, a masked man trying to help us.
Just rest quietly now. The doctor will be here soon. I hope he's going to be all right.
Hey, somebody's coming.
Tonto couldn't have ridden to town and back that fast.
It's not your Indian friend, mister. It's Bert Dillon.
I have to save explanations. I better not be seen here. At least not for the moment.
Of course. The kitchen's in there.
Good day, Mr. Craig.
Hello, Mr. Dillon.
Howdy, Hank.
Oh, please sit down.
After you, Mr. Craig. I heard Jim got a fine price for his herd. I was riding out this way and thought I'd save him a trip into town. You know the money on the loan is due today.
Then you haven't heard about Jim's accident.
It weren't no accident. Somebody dragged us, Mr. Jim, and stole all his gold.
Jim? Shot and robbed? That's terrible. Does he have any idea who did it?
Well, Jim's too weak to do much talking. We're waiting for the doctor. Jim's resting now.
Oh, good. You know, I've heard there's a couple of tough outlaws in this vicinity. Maybe they could be the ones who did it. By the way, who found Jim and brought him back to the ranch?
Well, it was...
Hank and I brought him back in the buckboard.
I see. Mrs. Craig, I'm going into town and ask the sheriff to organize a posse immediately. We'll search the whole area around Red Rock, and whoever shot Jim must be caught and the gold returned. By the way, I hope Jim's wounds aren't too serious.
Thank you, Mr. Dillon. And, about your money.
Oh, I think an extension of a week or two, that can be arranged.
Why, you money-grabbing coyote. You know blame good and well Mr. Jim couldn't raise enough money to pay you in a week or two.
Hank, please.
I'd like to make it longer, Mrs. Craig. But unfortunately, I also have obligations that must be met. I'm very sorry.
Mr. Dillon, you're entitled to your money. It's not your fault that Jim was robbed.
Thank you for being so understanding. Good.
Why, that dirty, low-down sneaking like... Oh, you ain't gonna let him take the bar seat from Mr. Jim and you, are you?
Oh, please, Hank, please.
Craig's losing the Bar C Ranch to that money-lending land shark. It just don't seem right.
No, Hank, it doesn't. Yet Dillon must have been so anxious to get it, he had Jim ambushed.
Dillon? What makes you think he's behind it?
He made a slip, Hank. He seemed to know that Jim had been shot at Red Rock, even though you and Mrs. Craig hadn't mentioned it.
By golly, you're right. I never thought of that. Why, that sneaking sidewinder. I'll go after him myself.
Oh, we'll need more proof first. Can you think of any reason why Dillon wants this ranch? Is it particularly valuable?
Well, no, not that I know of. Fact is that some of the Bar C rangeland ain't worth nothing.
Why is that?
Oh, some white dust or powder blows down from the hills on the place, and it settles in the water at the water holes, and the cattle, they just won't drink from them. And I don't blame them either. Oh, that water sure tastes awful.
I see. Strange that Mr. Dillon should be so interested in cattle land that doesn't even have good water. When Tonto comes back, we'll take a look at those water holes.
What do you expect to find here at Waterhole, Kinsale?
I don't know, Tonto. I thought something Hank said should be investigated.
Water murky, something in it. Tastes like bad medicine.
Salty.
What make it taste like that?
A white powder in the water. Hank says it blows down from the hills near here. Must be from up there.
Cattle no drink this water.
You're right, Tonto. For grazing cattle, this land is worthless. For another reason, this part of Craig's property may be very valuable. We'll circle into those hills and see what we can find. Come on.
Craig's at his ranch and he's not dead.
What?
You sure it was a masked man, an Indian, that found him?
It had to be. They were coming straight up the draw when I hightailed it away. Maybe they left him for dead and someone else took Craig home.
Yeah, that might have happened. Anybody tell the sheriff about the shooting yet?
Nobody. I've been here all the time.
Then we got a lot of talking to do. About time the sheriff started after that masked hombre and his partner. Come on.
Whole place covered with white dust.
This confirms what I suspected.
What that, Kinsale?
This powder is borax, a very valuable mineral. I've seen it before.
And no wonder Dillon's so anxious to get ranch. But how we prove him have Jim ambushed?
I have a plan that may trap Dillon. He said he was going to see the sheriff. We'll ask Hank to ride into town and spread a little story where he's sure Dillon will hear it. It may make Dillon show his hand. Come on.
That's right, Sheriff. The The two outlaws, one of the masked, were near the place where young Craig was attacked. They must have been the ones who did it. I saw them again on my way in here.
Only an outlaw would wear a mask to hide his face.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I saw them.
Well, we'll start looking for them two hombres right away. Martin, round up a few of the boys.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Sheriff. I sure hope you can recover Jim's money so he won't lose his ranch.
What? Lose it?
I'm afraid I'll have to take it over if the Craigs can't pay me the money they owe. Mrs. Craig said Jim was on his way to pay me when he was ambushed.
Why, you wouldn't take over Jim's ranch, would you?
Well, I like the Craigs and I wouldn't want to do anything to hurt them, but unfortunately I have obligations of my own that must be met. I'm afraid if they can't meet that 2-week extension that I've given them, I'll have to take over the ranch, Sheriff.
Sheriff? Hey, Sheriff, Jim's been shot.
Yes, Hank. Mr. Dillon here has just been telling me. Thinks he might know who did it, too.
You don't say.
Yes, says he saw two strange hombres, one of them wearing a mask, right near where Jim was ambushed.
That's right, Hank. The sheriff is taking a posse out there right now to see if he can pick up their trail. Oh, by the way, how is Jim getting along?
Well, he's able to talk a little now. We was thinking if you'd run out to the ranch in a couple of hours, Sheriff, maybe Jim would be rested up enough that he could describe this fellow that ambushed him.
You mean he saw who it was?
What did he say he looked like?
Well, he didn't say yet. But he keeps saying something about some feller walking toward him after he was shot. I guess Jim was pretty lucky, too. 'Cause if the feller that dry gulched Jim had knowed that he wasn't dead, he'd have finished him off right then and there.
Why, you bet he would have.
Yeah.
Identification like that sure to convict whoever it was that did the shooting. Guess Martin's got the boys rounded up. Want to ride with us, Hank?
I sure do.
What are you going to do, Sheriff?
Well, first I want to try to catch up with the masked man and the Indian. Then I'm going to stop by Craig's ranch and hear what Jim has to say. Don't want to waste too much time and give them two gunslingers a chance to get away.
We wouldn't want that to happen.
Well, thanks for all your information, Mr. Dillon.
I'm doing my job as an honest citizen. Good luck, Sheriff.
Craig talks and ain't going to be very healthy around here.
I know that. But from what Hank said, Craig hasn't talked yet. And there shouldn't be anyone at Craig's house except Jim and his wife. Come on. There's some fast riding to do.
Jim, I'm expecting someone to come here shortly.
Who?
The man who tried to kill you.
Then you know who shot and robbed Jim?
I think I do, Mrs. Craig. I have no proof. I hope to get that now.
How?
I asked Hank to spread a story that you saw the man who shot you.
I see. Did you expect him to come here and try to shut me up? Hey, that's a pretty neat trick, mister.
Kimasabi, him do any time now.
Yes, Tonto, we better hurry. Now, here's how I think we can catch him. Tonto and I will set our plans.
Craig's house is right over there. We'll leave the horses here. Now, come on. Be as quiet as you can.
You think someone really come, Kimasabi?
I can only hope what I asked Hank to say in town will bring results.
Look, two men.
Let him in bed, all right? You know what to do.
Don't worry, boss. When I get through with Craig this time, he isn't going to be talking to anybody.
Come on!
Someone's coming.
Over there.
Me get him, Kimasabi.
My hand, you've broken it.
It's not as painful as breaking the law. You'll find that out when you pay for your crimes. I'll get going. You hurt, Tonto?
Me fine, but him not feel so good.
We'll get these two tied up and in the house. Hank should be bringing back the sheriff any time now. All right, you two, in the house.
And that's the whole story. You see, Sheriff, the masked man and the Indian moved me into the bunkhouse. There wasn't anything but pillows in that bed. Well, what made you suspect that Dillon was back of the whole thing?
Lots of things, Jim. He knew just where the ambush took place. He even knew you were shot more than once.
Hey, that's right. Why, he asked about your wounds.
But his biggest mistake was to try and spread suspicion against Tonto and me. Sheriff, you said Dillon told you he had seen us at the ambush spot. How could he when we were at the Craigs at the time?
Say, that makes sense to me, mister. And we'll have even more proof if my deputy and your Indian friend can find the stolen gold at Dillon's office. They ought to be back here by now.
But I still can't understand why Dillon would want to commit murder to get the Barcy.
There's a large deposit of borax on your property. Dillon found out about it.
Borax? Isn't that the stuff they've been making such a fuss about finding over in California?
That's right, Sheriff. You see, borax has many uses in manufacturing. The owner of the Barcy will make a great deal of money because of that deposit. Hank here deserves the credit. He's the one that told me about a white powder blowing into the water. You find the gold, Tonto?
It's all there, Kimasabi. In Dillon's office, just like you think. Deputy, lock it up in the sheriff's safe.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, but I don't know how we can ever thank you properly.
A man doesn't expect thanks for doing what he thinks is his duty. We're glad we could help. Come on, Tonto. Bye, and good luck.
Jim, we won't have to worry now. We won't lose the ranch.
Why, you bet you won't. And the first thing I'm going to do after I get those two in jail charged with robbery and attempt murder is see to it that Dillon marks your note paid in full. And whatever gold's left's going to be put in the bank in your name.
Oh, thank you, Sheriff. Look, dear. There go the masked man and Indian. I wish they were staying. I'd like to know them better.
So would I. They're worth knowing. I've heard a lot of stories about a masked man and an Indian working together for law and order. I figured that masked man can only be one person. He's the Lone Ranger.
Hail, Silver!